So the votes are in, you guys. All right. So I recently posted a poll on my channel, and I'll show it to you up here. But pretty much, essentially, what the poll was asking was, do you consider yourself red pill? And if so, do you also believe in Jesus? So the reason why I did the poll was because I was watching Red Pill content for some time now, and there is a lot of ideas within the Red Pill community that I like. However, there was always something lacking for me personally. So I'll give you an example. I noticed that within the Red Pill community, they champion themselves to be the bearers of truth. And we all know what the Matrix is about, right? Everybody, for the most part, are blind, they're asleep. And one day you meet this Morpheus character who wakes you up to the truth, and you have a choice. You have a choice to either remain asleep, thereby taking the blue pill, or you embrace the truth and you fight against the system, you fight against the Matrix, right? And you receive the red pill. So I have nothing against the red pill in red pill community as a whole. I actually admire a lot of the voices within that community, within the red pill space. However, what I noticed that for people who champion themselves to be the bearers of truth, I wanted to know, how far does this truth go? Like, what is the end goal of embracing this truth? So there's two main voices that I hear within the red pill community. The first being that there are those who only want to point out the negative, right? This is what's wrong with society. This is wrong with culture, the Western culture today, and I'm all for it. I agree. I think you should be aware of what's wrong with the Western culture. I'm totally on board with that. But however, where's the solution, right? Then there are those which I tend to favor. They actually not only expose the negativities of what's going on in the Western society, but they also provide solutions. However, the solutions, again, to what end? Because usually the solutions surround this, men do self-improvement, work on yourself, work out, get your body right, make more money, so that you won't need the system, so that you can plug out, you get what I'm saying? You don't have to depend on the government. And again, I'm all for it. It sounds good on paper. It's actually good in actuality too. I do believe you should work on yourself. But this has always been the void, and this is the reason why I asked the question in the poll. Because after doing all this self-improvement, after doing all these things from a carnal sense, right, from a physical sense, in terms of improving yourself and improving the lives of those around you, right, no longer falling victim to female nature, all of that, right? But when the breath leaves your body, what then? That's always been lingering in my mind. I mean, it's cool if you could create this paradise on earth, you know what I'm saying? Amass all this money, you don't need the government. You could, be self-sustainable. You can build, all of that, right? That the red pill community preaches. But when the breath leaves your body, what next? And that's why, for me, I feel like the one thing that I at least for me, that's lacking within the red pill community, is that I want to make sure that after I've come to all this truth, that it doesn't just die when I die. Yeah, I mean, sure, people can carry on the message and all this other stuff, but the same thing applies to them. When they die, it's all over. And I feel like there's got to be a bigger purpose for living. And that's why I wanted to ask, is there anybody that actually believes in Jesus in this day and age? That's the reason why I was bringing it up, because I feel like that's the one thing that the red pill community is lacking. So I asked the question, and I'm going to reveal the the results of the actual poll. So just stay tuned, all right, for the video. I won't make it too long, but you see, I want to make sure that after I work my ass off, that there is my soul will actually receive rest. that's my ultimate mission. And hopefully that is what I hope to provide those who actually watch this content, to know that, yeah, it's cool to listen to all this MGTOW, Red Pill, all this other stuff, but what about saving your soul? And I would venture to say you ain't gonna do so unless you actually believe in Jesus and believe in keeping his commandments. Now, here's the thing, right? Why Jesus, right? Why the Bible? Now, here's the thing. For those of you who are actually studying the politicians, and you can see where life is heading. I mean, after all, we all talking about how the Western society is failing, and that let's just actually analyze why it's failing and who are they attacking. Just think about it, and you will see why I choose to stick with Jesus in particular, right? Because it's one thing to say God, right? God, but there's so many different gods. There's so many different gods. Zeus, Hera, she was a goddess, but you have Hare Krishna. There's so much different gods, but when you look at what the politicians are pushing in their agenda, there's one God in particular that they seem that they are targeting, and they're trying to fight vehemently against. And I believe it's the God of the Bible. So follow me in this train of thought here. In the Bible, the first commandment was be fruitful and multiply. Now, can you do that if you're pushing same-sex marriage?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Can you do that? I mean, how can you procreate if two men join together? All right. You see what I'm saying? So clearly they trying to push this upon us, and the only people that believe otherwise are people who believe in the book, believe in the Bible, people that believe in Jesus. When you see that they providing, or rather breaking down the family structure, who's the one that gave us order for the family structure? I mean, the Bible said clearly that it's God, Christ, man, then the woman, then the children, right? Can we all agree on that? Now, isn't it crazy that man is the head of the wife, but lo and behold, we have a society where I'm an independent woman. Independent woman. How can you preach you're an independent woman when the Bible says it's not good that man should be alone? You see, again, all these agendas, whether it be through feminism, whether it be through same-sex marriage, whatever you have it, they all are attacking the God of the Bible in particular. They're attacking the principles of Jesus. And that's the reason why I wanted to provide, hopefully, a voice within the red pill space. You get what I'm saying? Because, yeah, I believe in the self-improvement. I believe in, that they're pushing these fairy tales to keep us docile and dumb. I understand all of that. But what is going to happen to your soul? Let's get past the physical, right? But what are you going to do to preserve your soul? So that's the reason why ultimately I made the poll, because I'm hoping that there is still hope out there. I'm hoping that within all these, and I would just call it consciousness movements, if you want to call it that, because apparently they done took the word woke. And if you woke, that's actually a bad term now. It's just, anyway, but within the consciousness community, and you have Red Pill in particular, it seems to be leading the forefront. I'm hoping that there is some hope, that there's people that actually aspire to save their souls. Because again, it's very clear to me what the agenda is. It's very clear that they don't want people to have any remote spirituality no more. And this is why you hear this rhetoric over and over. Oh, the Bible is fake. Oh, Jesus is just a fairy tale. And you're hearing it more and more and more. Why? Of course you would have to hear it. Because then if the Bible is fake, if it's a fairy tale, then sure, you could condone all the same-sex marriage you want. You could condone women being out of order and being masculine all you want. I mean, it fits the narrative. But I want to know, I want to see if there are still believers in Jesus. So I'm not going to drag it on too much. I'm going to finally reveal the results to you. But here it is, you guys. All right. So it's on the screen for you. And I was very pleasantly surprised. And now, again, this is indicative of my personal demographic of youth, of subscribers, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm gonna read it again. Do you consider yourself red pill? And if so, do you also believe in Jesus? So 13% said no. Okay, cool. 29% said I'm red pill. They said yes. All right, cool. Now you have a whopping 58% that said they red pill and they believe in Jesus. And that, to me, you guys, you don't even understand. That actually made my day. All right. Now, believe me, the matrix is so deep and the rabbit hole is so deep. I mean, believing in Jesus is not enough. All right. So let me just tell you that straight up. But just saying I believe in Jesus is not enough. There's so much things that you have to do, but at least that's a starting point. And this is why I'm actually pleasantly surprised, because there are actually still believers out there. You get what I'm saying? In this world where they're cramming down immorality, in a world where they're cramming down, evil and wickedness, they cramming down family dysfunction, children being disobedient to parents. Like, in a world where it's clear that the Western world is crumbling right before our eyes, I'm glad to see that the Most High is still trying to preserve a group of believers in Jesus. Again, this is just a starting point. There's so much more that you have to learn. I'll drop a nugget. Something as simple as whether you should keep the commandments or not. Something as simple as whether Christ was black or not. I'll leave right there. Time would be exhausted if I try to explain those things. But but like I said, at least there's a starting point. Now, here's what I would like to do, right? Please watch part 2 of the video. Watch part 2 of the video, because you're going to see why, in particular, this discussion is important within the red pill space. I'm telling you guys. Please watch part 2, so I'll see you guys there, all right? With that being said, Blue Falcon over and out. Jesus is King.
Game to win. Game hard.